Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to more Elder Scrolls Online. My name is Raven from the Sky. Let's
examine the headstones. Let's determine what's so special about the
Beneath the stone lies Harlock the Bastard, a tired old wastrel and brother of Jor, a layabout in life who froze in a blizzard.
The hour of our triumph draws near.
Like the corpulent, old as the hist. This mother of Murkmire, scholar of our ways, she died of heartbreak.
Why are these particular graves so important?
Unknown, a traveling merchant run through by bandits, this daughter of Skyrim thought old and wise. Here lies Uthbet, son of Ryle Chief Killer, and old as the hills, a warrior born. He passed on the privy with a heaping of scorn.
Soon we will know the taste of triumph.
Here lies Brokel, beloved son, herder, died in his sleep, old as Skyrim.
Finished? Have you come to any conclusions? Well, we've both been over the headstones with a fine-toothed comb. If we can determine why the Coven dug up these particular bodies, it will tell us something about how the medallions were enchanted.
Let's discuss what we found on the headstones.
Of course. Compare notes and look for commonalities. You have the makings of a fine scholar, my friend. Now, let's see. I noticed there were a mix of different races buried here. They weren't all Nords. Anything strike you about the departed?
They all share something in common when they died.
They did. Tell me more.
They were all old when they died.
Of course. Why didn't I see that? The headstones on the exhumed graves all mentioned that the person was old when they died. Let me think. Some necrotic spells require the remains of the elderly. Something to do with the natural decay of life.
The natural decay of life?
According to one necromantic theory, the older a living thing becomes, the more necrotic energy it naturally acquires. As a body grows old and withers, the life inside it decays. Necrotic energy is the byproduct of this deterioration.
Does it tell you enough to figure out how to create the medallions?
I now know enough about how they create the medallions to move my research along. I'll return to the Blue Palace and start putting an elixir together.
What else do you need me to do?
To fully craft an elixir to defend against the Harrowstorms, I still require a sample of refined netherroot brew. Plus, we need to determine what the Grey Host has planned. Help Lyris and Svanna at the other camps. Then meet me at the Blue Palace.
We took a sample of refined netherroot brew from the Midland camp. Lyris is bringing it to Solitude.
Glad to hear it. That just leaves finding out what the Grey Host has planned. Go meet Svanna at the camp in Blackreach. I can't say I envy you. While Blackreach provides some fascinating points of study, the dangers appear overwhelming.
around the mountain. Somerset, huh? Jewelry. Where's the orc settlement from Skyrim? So we have to go around.
Grey Host has planned, and what did I find? Good citizens of the Holds, afflicted by the Harrow storms and kept prisoner for some ungodly purpose. No matter how many I set free, the Herald will not leave this place.
Have you had an opportunity to scout out the Grey Host camp?
That's all I've been doing, and trying to get these afflicted people to leave this place. The Herald, the storm robs them of their will, their minds. I wasn't able to slip deeper into the camp, though.
We need to try to find out about the big storm the Grey Host is planning.
Agreed. There appear to be a number of Grey Host warlords in the camp, so discovering their plans should be possible. We need to be careful, though. I don't want us to wind up like the Herald, serving as food for these bastards.
Tell me what you noticed while scouting around the camp.
Messages have been coming and going since I arrived. I've heard the name Rada al-Saran, the Ashen Lord, spoken in hushed and revered tones. His name was on the communique you found, remember? We need to get down there and see what else we can learn.
I wonder what the Grey Host is doing down here.
Hiding, building their forces, digging, undermining. That's the correct term, I think. Plus, they're collecting the Herald, herding them like cattle. It's monstrous what they're doing to these poor people.
Are you sure you should be down here, Princess?
The only thing I'm sure of is I have to try. If my father won't act, then it falls on me to get things done. It's what my mother would want me to do.
Oh! Oh, thank God. Don't want that. He came in the nick of time.
Look, on the scaffold. Let's eavesdrop on those werewolves.
I left the orders in my tent, but the Ashen Lord was clear. We need more netherroot. See to the undergrove immediately.
As you command, Pintock.
The undergrove? That sounds important. There, on the left. Let's listen in.
Exarch Zingalis has fallen. I have never seen Rada El Saran, our Ashen Lord, so filled with sorrow, or such rage.
Does the loss of the Exarch alter our plans?
Not in the least. The strike on Solitude will occur as planned after Exarch Ulfra tests the improved ritual in the Undergrove.
An attack on Solitude? We need to move quickly. The Grey Host definitely has something big planned. Let's search the tents for a copy of those orders.
Oh, his killers have retreated to the shadows. I'm going too fast. You guys just pause the video.
That's what we were looking for. Let's talk over there. Orders from Rada Al-Saran. His words sent a chill down my spine. Their plan for Solitude? It might even be more dreadful than an all-out attack. We need to get back and determine the exact location of this Undergrove place.
You really think Solitude is in danger?
You saw what happened at Kilcreath and Carthwatch. Whatever they have planned for Solitude, it sounds a whole lot worse. I wish we knew more about this Rada Al-Saran and what drives him.
He makes it sound like he considers his army to be his family.
A family of monsters? Who could imagine vampires and werewolves working together? Let alone talking about one another like brothers and sisters. It's not natural.
Hopefully the orders we found will give us an advantage.
I'm glad I got to look around Blackreach, but I can't wait to see the sun and sky again. No matter how big these caverns are, it still feels like we're buried alive down here.
What else do I need to do?
We came down here to find out what the Grey Host has planned. But Fen still needs information about how the medallions are created, and a sample of the refined netherroot brew. Help Fen and Lyris at the other camps. Then meet me in Solitude.
We got the medallion information and the netherroot brew. Finn and Lyris will meet us in Solitude.
Then we're done here. I hope we found enough to end the threat of the Grey Host. I'll meet you back at the Blue Palace. Good luck, my friend.
Seeking a reliable research assistant with little to no fear of death. Or if they aren't fighting.
What?
So, do we have a way to defend against the Harrow Storms, or what?
The elixir should do what we need, provided neither Fen nor I made any miscalculations.
Yolen, don't be so negative. The elixir will work. You'll see. Oh, good. You're back. Mjolnir and I have been discussing the various ways to turn what we've got into a protective elixir. I'm hesitant to get too excited, but I think we've figured out how to defend against the Harrow Storms.
Tell me what you're thinking.
The Grey Host uses an unstable mix of alchemy and sorcery to create the Harrow Storms. An arcane ritual and the Netherroot brew focus the power of each Harrow Storm through the prepared witch pikes. Ingenious, but fully exploitable.
Exploitable? How so?
We can use the refined brew as the basis of our elixir. Now that we understand how the Harrow Storms are created, we can use those same components to replicate the medallion's protective properties. We just need to gather the necessary components.
How can I help?
Svana's associate, Mog, will procure most of the supplies I need, but there's one final ingredient required. For various reasons, I can't simply walk into the Hall of the Dead and claim it myself. I need you to acquire Arkay's Sacred Oil.
Arkay's Sacred Oil?
A holy ointment associated with a god that became popular due to imperial influence. It's used by the priests in the Hall of the Dead to provide protection against necromancy and the undead. We need that oil to create our elixir.
Alrighty.
You'll need my help. I'll meet you at the Hall of the Dead. Mog, put away the tankard and get the supplies Fen requires.
Yes, your royal ladiness. I'm keeping the tankard.
What do you want?
refugees arrive by the hour. Why does Fargrim hesitate?
The High King issues orders, but all they do is lock away the afflicted. When
Princess
will he strike
Vala.
back?
What can I do for you, Your Highness?
Listen to my friend, High Priest. We need your help.
I'm surprised to see the princess here. As you can see, the influx of refugees has made this place much more hectic than usual. Is there something I can do for Princess Svana?
We need some RK sacred oil.
Sacred oil? Strange. That's the second time today someone has come seeking Arke's anointing balm. Sword Thane Athlet arrived with an edict from the king. Demanded our entire supply. How we're to consecrate the dead without it, I have no idea.
Why did High King Fargrim want all of the sacred oil?
The Sword Thane wouldn't say. He just mentioned that the High King needed it to defend Solitude. I'm sorry I can't comply with the princess's request. Things are hard enough that these refugees must take shelter here amongst the dead.
Do you know where the Sword Thane took RK sacred oil?
The Sword Thane took the oil to Castle Dower. That's where all the supplies for a siege are gathered during periods of strife. I pray that High King Svargrim receives the patience and wisdom required to see us through this crisis.
Tell me more about Castle Dwar.
Solitude's foundation began with the construction of Castle Dower.
Dower.
It's the oldest structure in the city, and the most defensible. I tried to move the refugees there for safekeeping, but my request was denied. The High King has other plans, I suppose.
Can't you see I'm busy?
Hold! Castle Dower is... Princess Svana.
Sword Thane, our business is urgent. My friend will explain.
I don't have time for the princess's proclivities right now. The High King... We barely keep up with the multitude of tasks. So speak quickly, and let me get back to it.
The High Priest said you took all of the sacred oil. The priestess need some of it.
My orders from the High King were clear. Stockpile the entire supply of sacred oil in the Temple of the Divines here within the confines of Castle Dower. What in Shore's name does the princess need with holy oil anyway?
There's an elixir that protects against herald storms, but it requires sacred oil.
Protection? Truly? The Herald already outnumber my soldiers, and more arrive every day. Still, giving you the oil would violate the High King's edict. I suppose if I happened to look the other way for a moment, I wouldn't notice if a flask disappears.
I understand. All right.
A single flask? Then we'll have to make do. Let's get it back to...
Sword Thane! Vi has work! I gave strict orders,
Wow.
yet my daughter freely enters the castle grounds. What do they want, Sword Thane?
They,
We came to offer our assistance, Father. Sword Thane, how can we help?
Athlet has everything well in hand, child. Despite your intentions, you would only hinder our efforts. Go! The Sword Thane doesn't need my daughter or her wastrel underfoot.
Called me an underfoot.
What do you want?
Once it's ready, I'll test the elixir.
As you say, Lyris. Ah, here they come now. You have the sacred oil? Add it to the cauldron. Yes, a perfect fusion. It's ready to be tested. Come, let's talk. With the addition of the sacred oil, the elixir is complete. Before we produce enough to distribute to the people of Western Skyrim, we need to test it. I'm confident of my work, but we're dealing with powerful forces here.
How do you plan to test the elixir?
We can't wait for the next Harrow Storm to strike. But what you and Svanna learned in Blackreach might help. You heard that Exarch Ulfra was testing Harrow Storm rituals in a place called the Undergrove. We'll go there and let Lyris drink the elixir.
Right. The orders mention the Undergrove is hidden in an ancient burrow.
During my explorations of Blackreach, I came across an ancient burial site, a place called the Midnight Barrow. This Undergrove must be inside those ruins. Once there, you and Svanna keep watch from a safe distance, while Lyris steps into the storm.
I guess we're going to the Midnight Burrow.
From what I could tell, the Midnight Barrow sank into Blackreach in the distant past. Somewhere in its chambers, we'll find the Undergrove. The ruined barrow is in the Lightless Hollow, in the northwest portion of the cavern. We'll meet you there.
Alright guys, thanks for watching. My name is Raven from the Sky. If you enjoyed the episode, drop a like and subscribe to the channel and the series grow. Take care and I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.